Okay, so welcome to a little quick tutorial regarding how to put crown molding on top of cabinets. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna make it so fast and easy. Hopefully, this is the fastest way to go about it. If you know any other trick or trick tips out there, just let me know. Now, so let's assume you have your uh, wall cabinet just like that placed in 2020. You need to locate the countertop, the molding. I'm using a a catalog called Forever Mark TSG, so it might be different from yours. So I want to go to the molding category. You go to the top molding, and I'm going to select this one. For example, all I need to do is a left click, hold it down, drag, and place. Now there are two ways you can place that, right? You can place on the floor plan or right on the elevation. Now to do this, on the floor plan, just select, hold down, and release your left mouse. Automatically, your crown mold is built. So easy. Now let's assume that's the easiest way to do that. So let's just, let me delete this again one more time and take this off. So let me do this, and let's say I want to put the crown molding on the elevation, for example. I'll just drag this and put it there. Never place outside on top. That's not going to work. If you place it too low, you might have issues, but sometimes it flies. All right. So, but the ideal place to place it is just at the top of the cabinet, close to the top, but not outside. Just close to the top and let go your left mouse. Automatically, this drops there. So that's the easiest way to do that. If you want to modify a a cabinet like the crown molding, let's say I duplicate this cabinet, for example, and I just place one there. So what do I do? Do I have to delete all of this and then redo that again? That's too much work. So what you need to do is easy. You click on the molding, right click on it and click on edit shape right there. Now once you click on edit shape, we're going to be working with lines. So this line right here, you can click, wait for seconds and pull backwards. All right, that will work. But the best practice is always to right click on the line and then you see move and intersect. All right, so you can move and intersect it too, because that helps to cover up any angle. If it were to be an angle, always remember to use right click, move and intersect. So it's going to snap to the endpoint, left click to drop, and then come back up here and you see accept. So you just modified your crown molding. All right, so now let's see what other thing we can do with this crown molding. So let me delete this crown molding. I'll delete this one. Then I'll look for a vertical crown molding. Supposing I want to stack this crown molding. So what do? Look for a vertical crown molding, like a 6-inch crown molding. You can see horizontal. It's usually called a starter molding or a stock molding. But from this manufacturer, it's called WF Wall Filler 696. So if I drag this and place it on the elevation, the top part of the cabinet, and release, wait for it, and then that's it's popped up. So it's all spread on the floor plan, if you can see that. So if you look at the 3D, see what's coming up, hold on for it, it's about coming. And that's it right there. So all we see is just a vertical molding. Can you see that? Now, so let me stack this now. I'm going to go back up here and drag this same molding. And when I place this molding on the elevation, okay, it's always safer to place moldings when it comes to stacking on the elevation. Always the best. Oops, I just messed up. Sorry, I was too fast for you. Well, not too fast. So if I drag it, I can drop it in elevation, but you have to zoom in very well, okay? And you drop it on the molding right here and you let it go. Now 2020 is going to ask whether you want it on the cabinet or on the wall vertical molding. So you're going to select the wall vertical and click, and that's going to drop it there. But see, that's too much work. All right, easiest way is to go to the elevation. What if you have like 5 different types of lines stacked over each other, and you're going to have to start thinking which one is which? So your best option is to look for it in the elevation. So you drag this and you place it right there. Remember, do not place, if you place it at the bottom, it's not going to go. If you place it above, it's not going to stack. So you have to place it on the face of the current molding that you want this new one to stick on. All right, so it's going to stick here, but unfortunately when you place that, it's placing it on top every time. By default, 2020 places any molding on top of another molding on top of each other. Now however, what we're looking for is to bring this down by 3 inches, because this is 6 inches, right? You look at the dimensions, it says from here to there is 6 inches. So what I'm looking for to pull this one up, and that's the dimension of this one. The dimensions cannot be seen correctly. Well, it's working correctly. Some moldings will not show you the exact dimension, so you got to be careful with that. This might not work exactly in some manufacturers. I'm using this molding from TSG, and it shows you exactly 4 inches. All right, or yeah, I think I'm using this one. It's a CM96-4. It's 4.5 inches there, if you take a look at that. But if you go to 2020, all right, look at that. It's a CM96E4. So let's see what that gives. CM96E4. Ah, it's even worse. Look at that. CM96E4 says it's just 2 inches and 5/8. Now in 2020, it's giving you 4 inches. So be careful. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. I'm going to take this off and use something that's close to 24. CM96-4, and let's see what this gives us. Place it right there, and it stacks it on top. All right. Now, even if I measure this, let's see what it gives me. Now this gives me the correct one, which is 4.5. CM96-4. Here, CM96-4, 4.5 vertical height. Now, how do I bring this upper molding down? Now, what I'm saying, let's take a look at this in 3D. You understand what I'm saying? Now, in 3D, it's not correct because it's putting it right on top. Okay, so you're just going to have a whole lot of plain molding there, and it's not that nice. So look at what's going to come up with. So let's take a look at a better way to see this. Let me just change this to texture with edge here. Correct. So let me use that one. Oops, did I do that? Okay, so let's take a look at that. So that's what it gives me now. Okay, texture with edges. So you can see all of that. So this is up there, and then I need to pull this down. The easiest way to do this in 2020 is to just right click on this. All right. So let's just close this window a little bit, and not close, but close it down. So you just need to right click on this, right click on the upper one, and you use the up and down arrow. Okay. Now at this point, you have to specify the height. Right now is at 102 from the floor to the top of this one. So if you want to bring it down by 3 inches, so you're going to be using 99, right? And let's say 0. That's it. You say okay, and this is what happens. It drops this down to, that means 3 inches below from the top. So if you take a look at it from in the 2020 rendering, yep, it's reduced it. Now it's dropping below. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, so let's take a look at another option of doing this, which is usually the best way, because if you do it the other way around, what is going to happen is once you close down this file and reopen, you're going to have issues. Everything will jump back. Everything would jump back to its original position, and that's going to be a problem. You got to keep pulling down all the time, pull down all the time. So the best and permanent way to do that is you right click on the lower molding. In this case, it's the 6-inch high, right? You right click on it and then you go to what we call attributes. On the attributes, all right, you go to variables. In the variable tabs, scroll down until you see what we call the EO height offset. Currently is 6 inches. 2020 sets a default from the manufacturer that any crown molding you place on this particular molding will be placed at 6 inches on top. Now you can modify that, adjust that you want it to be placed at 4 inches. So that means it's going to drop it down, or let's say at 3 inches. So that'll be 3 inches below, 3 inches above. Any crown molding you place there will now start from 3 inches and then upwards. You got it? So the same thing goes with the EO height offset. Remember, it's at 0. And so when you zoom in this, if you zoom into this very well, you realize that the crown molding, oops, is exactly, can you see that? It's exactly snapping to the face of the bottom molding. If you want this upper molding to come outside, not snap exactly to the face, that means you want to change the depth of this one. And that's why you use the EO depth offset. But in this case, I'm going to leave it at 0 for the purpose of this training. So let's say OK. Now that has dropped this automatically by 3 inches. You see that? Even if I say I right click and delete this one, if I drop this again, any molding I drop there would definitely start from 3 inches upwards. So that's the best and the easiest way to run crown molding. Hopefully this works for you. And in conclusion, you want to take a look at this briefly. That's done. So we did 2 things today. To drop a crown molding on any cabinet above, all you need to do is go to the elevation. Is the best way. You drag and drop on the elevation. Never drop above what you want to do. Always drop close to the upper face of this cabinet or the other one. Now once you do that, it spreads itself automatically. It spreads all around. That's 2020 for you. Then if you want to stack molding, then you can always do your math. Put the vertical one first. Even if I want to do something, take a look at this before I conclude. Let me just delete this one. Now learn something though. Sorry, if you want to adjust the entire molding, the stacked molding, the one you started with first is the one you need to modify. Now I'll tell you why, because that is the parent molding. The rest are all attached to it. So let me give you an example before we go. If I delete the last one I added here and say delete, and I want to adjust or modify this molding, see from elevation. All right. Now, what am I supposed to modify? The best thing to do, if you take this upper molding, that's the second one we laid, and you say you right click, you edit, okay? You right click on the line, move and intersect, like I said. Come on now. Now, if move and intersect doesn't work, you just click, left click and drag it down. And when you leave that, you drop it, you see, and you say accept. Now that means you have to do one. Now, if you go to the 3D, there's a problem because the main molding did not move. That's the parent molding. Did not flow, did not move together with the bottom molding. So that means you're going to do it twice. After you've done the upper one, then you want to do the lower one. That's too much headache, all right? Always modify the parent molding. All right? So in this case, let me modify it one time. So I'm going to modify the parent molding. It could be difficult when you have multiple molding stacked over each other. So to select the parent molding, you go in the elevation view, select the parent molding. You can actually right click there and say edit, but you cannot edit anything there. You come to the floor plan. Now you see it's the bottom molding, which is the parent molding that is edited. I can right click on it and say move and intersect and snap it there. Guess what's going to happen? Once I finish modifying and I go to accept, all right, everything moves automatically. That's the best way to modify mold. It's never modify the attached or the added on molding. It's not going to work well because you have to do it one after the other. The best is to always modify the upper molding. So the keynotes for today is, remember, you can drag and drop the best way on your elevations. To stack a molding, place the bottom molding first, then place the next molding on top of the next one. But remember to set your EO height offset, or you could pull right click down to determine your height. But you have to do that every time you open the file. And also, if you want to modify your molding, always remember to adjust the parent molding. It automatically pulls the rest of the molding together. So that's all for today, folks. Talk to you later. Bye.